Today I'm going to talk about 12 more things you can do to declutter with ADHD. If you haven't seen the first video, go ahead and click it right here. It tells about 15 different things. So let's get into it. The first thing is don't fall into the just in case trap. And what I mean by that is don't fall into, hey, I need this just in case this happens, just in case I want to use it later. Don't keep those blue suede shoes because you decide you want to be an Elvis impersonator in your 20s and you're now in your 50s and you still have those blue suede shoes in your closet. Don't keep that phone charger for that phone that's not even made anymore, that you don't even have anymore, that you're just keeping just in case your friend needs it or someone needs it, or that you find that phone for whatever reason and you really need that phone, you're keeping that phone charger. Don't keep those just in case items. Get rid of them because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to use those just in case items anyway, right? They're just going to take up space. They're going to end up in your junk drawer if you have a junk drawer, and you will never use those items. So get rid of all those just in case items. Pick a daily declutter time. Doesn't matter what time it is, morning, afternoon, night, evening. Just pick a time in the day that you are going to declutter. You take 10 to 15 minutes and declutter. Just clean up whatever you need to clean up. Make sure things have a place and just clean up a little bit for that 10 to 15 minutes. Set an alarm. And at this time, when that alarm goes off, then you'll be like, hey, this is my time to go to clutter. And then you set a little timer if you want to. Hey, I'm going to go into the clutter for 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer, and you set that timer. When that timer goes off, then you're done. Number 3, when you're deciding what to keep and what to throw away, you take all the stuff in the category that you are thinking about throwing away. You lay it all out on a flat surface, and then you look at it and say, am I going to keep this? Do I need this? Do I use this? If no, this goes in the throwaway pile. If so, I keep it. I put it in the pile that's for the keep pile. And so when you do this, you are decluttering because you're getting rid of all the stuff that you don't use, all the stuff that you don't need, all the stuff that you're keeping just in case. You get rid of all that stuff, and then you're just left with the stuff that you are going to keep. Number 4, use baskets. Why baskets? Because they are great for separating things. You can have multiple baskets, and then you can separate things. Like maybe you have towels and socks and washcloths or whatever, and you're trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to separate all this so that I can kind of keep organized? Put them in a basket, in multiple baskets, and now they're separated. They don't have to be in there neat. You just have to throw them in, right? And say, okay, this is for this is for this is for this. Now you can also use it for things that you just want to store in general. Maybe you want to store toys or sports equipment or whatever. You have a basket for that. Now you have to be able to see the basket or know where it is. Then you know, hey, if I lose this item or I'm trying to look for something, trying to find something, I know that it's probably in that basket. I know that's the first place that I should go look. Number 5, use categories. You need to divide things into categories because that's going to make things much easier to organize. You need to go, hey, this item goes in this category, this item goes in this category. And when you find something, you're like, which category does it go in? I'm not sure. It goes, I'm going to put it in this one. Or you can just have really smaller categories, right? You don't have to have these large categories if you don't want to. You can have as small of categories as you want to, as many categories as you want to. The system of categories just has to make sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. You're going to be the one doing the decluttering and organizing everything. So you have to figure out what categories work for you. And that's going to make organizing and decluttering so much easier because then when you find an item, you immediately know, hey, this item goes in this category. Do I need a new category for this item, or can it fit in this old category that I already have? Okay, and that item, that category goes here. Oh, I got this item. It doesn't go in any category at all. Do I really want to keep this item, or do I want to make a new category for this item? So you need to figure all that out, but you need to have some system of categories so you can divide things and figure out which things go where and figure out where you want to store certain things. Number 6, use drawer dividers. They are great. The cool thing about drawer dividers is because if you have multiple items that you want to put in a drawer and you don't want to take up multiple drawers, you get these little dividers and you put them inside the drawer, and it gives different sections inside the drawer. It separates different sections inside the drawer. So now if you want to throw in 3 or 4 different items in the drawer, then each item has its own little section, and it's a little more organized because when you look inside the drawer, you don't have to look all around the drawer to find what you're trying to find. You just look inside the drawer and say, okay, in this little section is this, in this little section is this, in this little section is this. Number 7, label things. Just make sure you have everything labeled that you need a reminder for. Everyone needs reminders. So if you think hey, I don't need a label. I'm going to remember this. No problem. I'll look here. I'll remember where I put it. Don't depend on that. Don't depend on you remembering where you put something. Put a label on whatever you need a label on. Number 8, make sure everything has a home. In your apartment, house, living space, whatever, make sure every item that you have kept has a specific place, because if it doesn't, you're going to just leave it somewhere. Might leave it on your desk, your bed, wherever. Just be like, hey, I don't know where that goes. I'm going to leave it here for now. I'll come back and put it away later. And nine times out of 10, you're not going to come back and put it away later if it doesn't have a home. It'll just stay there. It'll stay in your desk, stay in your bed, and that is how clutter begins. And then things get more cluttered, and then you're trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to declutter this? Number 9, take before and after photos. You want to see what it looked like before when it was all cluttered. You want to see what it looks like now when it is decluttered. It will show your journey. It will inspire you because of the fact that you did this, you accomplished this. You took that space, that house, that apartment from cluttered to decluttered. Number 10, use hanging storage solutions. Maybe you have one of those things that go over your door and you have all your shoes in your door. You don't have to have them in the closet or all around the house. You have one on your door, or maybe you are in the kitchen and you need to put all your utensils and things you use to cook somewhere. And so you get some type of hooks that you put up in the kitchen and you have all those items on those hooks. The other cool thing about this, it keeps everything in your line of view. And if you know that you've been cooking or you're trying to look for a specific shoe and you're trying to be like, well, where is that shoe or where is that kitchen utensil? And you can't see it. Now you have to go and dig through every cabinet that you have, every drawer that you have looking for that thing. Instead, it's on the hook right in front of you. You can say, oh, it's right there, and pick it up and use it for whatever you're going to use it for. And then make sure that you put it back on the hook. But it's going to be much easier to find things. It makes it much easier to organize things as well, because it's going to be organized on the hook and it's not going to be organized inside of a drawer or trying to organize it inside of a drawer or just thrown inside of a cabinet somewhere. So use hanging storage solution. Number 11, pick stuff up off the floor and give it a home. Make sure that you have a place for it. If you already have a place for it, put it there. Just make sure it's not on the floor. All the random items on the floor that are just there because you forgot to put them somewhere or place them somewhere, or just happened to be there, you set it down and just forgot it was there. Pick up all those items off the floor and put them somewhere else, because you don't want your floor cluttered. You want it to be able to walk around. The other thing is, if you do have clutter on the floor, then make sure you have some kind of space to walk through that clutter so that you can get to where you need to get to, because it makes it very difficult to get to wherever you need to get to in your house or apartment if there's clutter all on the floor and there's no space to walk through it. So give yourself about 3 feet and be able to push the clutter aside. If you can't do it right now, just give yourself a little pathway through the clutter. Sounds kind of weird, but the point is you want to have some way to walk through. Number 12, don't fall into the garage sale trap. And the reason I say it's a trap, because it sounds like a good idea. I've got all this stuff. I know what I want to throw away. I know what I want to keep. I'm going to make a little bit of money and have a garage sale. That's great. It could be really good, except you have to put labels on everything. You have to decide what categories go everywhere. You have to figure out, well, how much am I willing to go down if they try to haggle with me? You have to figure out who's going to be at the garage sale, who's going to be at what station. It takes so much organization to do a garage sale. And then if people don't show up to your garage sale, then you have to take those same items and try to figure out what you're going to do with them anyway, right? So don't do it. Just say, hey, I want to do a garage sale. If a friend will organize the whole thing for you, then do that. But don't try to organize it yourself, because of the fact it takes a lot of organization to do a garage sale. It's probably going to be a headache for you. It's probably going to frustrate you at some point. So just do something else. Sell at some other place, some other way, or just give the items away, whatever you want to do. But garage sale, much harder than it sounds. So what do you think about these additional decluttering tips I went over for ADHD? Are these ones you're going to use? Do you have your own? I'd love to hear about them in the comments. If you want to know more about motivation for organization, then there is this video as well. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you later. Have a great day.